So the next example, I'm going to do it right here, public static void, but you can find it in the slides, print cars, which given a string, the idea here is that we're given a string s and we want to print it out recursively. One character at a time, one character per line. So what we're going to do is that we're going to print out the following. So if I get, let's use our food example again, the output is actually going to be, look like this, F-O-O-D. Okay? So that's what our output is going to look. So again, we have to identify a base case. So what exactly is the easiest thing to print for us? What is the easiest case for us to print out? Well, again, the string, if the string is empty, so if s dot equals the empty string, then we just system.out.println nothing, right? Otherwise, well, what we need to do is that we want to print out the first character, right? And then, right, how do I print out this thing line by line, right? I don't want to write a for loop. That's hard. That's hard to think about that. I don't want to deal with the loops and have to count. So all I'm going to do is print out the first character, and then I'm going to call my function and print out the rest of the characters. So system.out.println the first character, s.car at 0. And we know there's a character at 0 because we've got an empty string, because it's not an empty string, right? The empty string, if it was an empty string and there was no 0, that would be this case. But we know there's at least one character inside index 0. And then we will print characters on s.substring beginning at character 1. So let's go ahead and try that out rather than doing that. Print characters over here. Oh, don't need to do that because it returns void. So let's go ahead and just do print cars. So hello. And we'll print out the 5 from our last input. So it prints out HELLO, and then we've got the blank line over here for the print line that goes on over here for our empty string. So print out HELLO. Now here's an interesting question I want to ask yourself. I want you to ask yourself, and see if you can't figure it out. What happens if we flip those lines? We do the recursive call first, and then we print out our character. What happens to our output? And this is a very good idea. So go ahead and try and trace this out to figure it out. So I want you to take some time and just do that. So go ahead and pause the video, because I'm going to keep talking about pausing the video until you actually do it. Have you paused the video yet? No, of course not. You should pause the video, right? You should totally pause the video and work it out on your own. And we're back. I hope you paused the video and worked on it. So interestingly enough, if we flip those lines, right, this is what's going to happen. We're going to go ahead, and what we're going to do is that it will say, okay, what we should do is that I should figure out how to print out OOD, and then I'm going to print out the character at index 0, which is F. And when we try to to figure out how to print out the characters at OOD, well, it says I'm going to figure out how to print OD, and then I'm going to print O, that first O. And then to figure out how do I print out OD, well, I've got to figure out how to print D, and then I'll print out my character O. And then it will go ahead and say, okay, so then I need to print out, how do I print out D? Well, I'll figure out how to print out the empty string, and then I'll print out D. And so it says, oh, I figured out how to print out the empty string. So it prints nothing. It says, okay, I figured out how to print out the empty string. So it prints out D. And it says, okay, I figured out how to print out D. So I print out O. And then it says, okay, I figured out how to print out odd. So I print out O. Then it says, okay, I figured out how to print out ood, the very first call we did over here. So we did this part, and now we're going to print out F. So as a result, this prints it in reverse. So O-L-L-E-H with, of course, our print line statement occurring first. So very interesting there that just by just swapping these two lines, right, we can change how this behaves, right? So that's kind of the power of what I really like about recursion in this example. There's like these small tweaks you can do with the program, with a recursive program, that make it behave completely opposite, but in still a useful fashion. All right, so we're going to move on to yet another example.